Yasodanandana Vrajachandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Vrajachandana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Ki Jai Maya Bhavan Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Shri Shri Kodamita Maya Guru Sasu Ki Jai Shri Tulsinath Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Maharaj Ki Jai All glory to some of the devotees, all glory to some of the devotees, all glory to some of the devotees, all glory to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're reading Prabhupada Limrita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Here. We are reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, the last instruction. A selected committee from the GBC came before Srila Prabhupada as he sat up in bed in the main room downstairs. Satsuru Maharaj was to be the spokesman, but he felt shy and uneasy. To come directly before Srila Prabhupada and ask about what should be done after he passing away might seem impertinent. But it was necessary. Srila Prabhupada himself had requested that the GBC come to Vrindavan to take care of exactly this kind of business. Srila Prabhupada, said Swarupa, we were all asked by the rest of the GBC to come and ask some questions. These are the members of the original GBC as you first made it out. Our first question is about the GBC members. We want to know how long should they remain in office. So we will find out about the answer tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, Text 58. Si Hiranyakashipu Vacha Bale Evam Prabhadati Sarve Vismita Chetasa Gyataya Menire Sarvam Anityam Ayata Utitam Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha Bala Evam Prapadati Sarve Bhishmita Chetasa Gyatayo Menire Sarvam Anityan Ayo Titam Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha Bala Evam Prapadati Sarve Bhishmita Chetasa Gyatayo Menire Sarvam Anityan Aya Toditam Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha Bala Evam Prabhadati Sarve Bhishmita Chetasa Yatayo Menire Sarvam Anityan Ayatotitam. Hiranyakashipu Vacha Laiva Prabhadati Shri Hiranyakashipu Vacha. Shri Hiranyakashipu said, Bale, while Yamarash in the form of a boy, Evam Das Prabhadati was speaking very philosophically. Sarve, all, Vismita, struck with wonder. Chetasa, their hearts. Gyataya, the relatives. Menire, they thought. Sarvam, everything material. Anityam, temporary. Ayata utitam, arising from temporary phenomena. Hiranyakashipu said, while Yamaraj, in the form of a small boy, was instructing all the relatives surrounding the dead body of Suyagya, everyone was struck with wonder by his philosophical words. They could understand that everything material is temporary, no continuing to exist. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.18. Antabanta imedeha nitya shokta sharirina. The body is perishable, but the soul within the body is imperishable. Therefore, the duty of those advanced in knowledge in human society is to study the constitutional position of the imperishable soul and not waste the valuable time of human life in merely maintaining the body and not considering life's real responsibilities. Every human being should try to understand how the spirit soul can be happy and where he can attain an eternal, blissful life of knowledge. Human beings are meant to study these subject matters and not to be absorbed in caring for the temporary body which is sure to change. No one knows whether he will receive a human body again. There is no guarantee, for according to one's work, one may get any body, from that of a demigod to that of a dog. In this regard, Srimad Vacharya comments, Aham mama piramandi tva yato tan anityakam mahabadi yatoktancha nityancha pe yatotita ashvatatantraiva prakriti swatantro nitya eva cha yatartabhuta cha para eko eva janardana. Only Janardan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is ever existing, but his creation, the material world, is temporary. Therefore, everyone who is captivated by the material energy and absorbed in thinking, I am this body, and everything belonging to this body is mine, is an illusion. One should think only of being eternally part of Janardhan, and one's endeavor in this material world, especially in this human form of life, should be to attain the association of Janardhan by going back to home, back to Godhead. In translation again. Shiranyakashipu vacha bala eva pravadati sarve bishmita chestasa yatayo menire sarvam anityan ayatotitam. Hiranyakashipu said, while Yamaraj, in the form of a small boy, was instructing all the relatives surrounding the dead body of Suyagya, everyone was struck with wonder by his philosophical words. They could understand that everything material is temporary, no continuing to exist. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Something interesting that they address Hiranyakashipu as Sri Hiranyakashipu. In no other part of the Bhagavatam we see that they pay so much respect to a demon. And we don't see this like Shri Duryodhana Vacha. You never see it. Actually, there is one verse in the Bhagavad Gita in which Duryodhana speak, but it doesn't say Shri Duryodhana Vacha. So it's very interesting that Sukadeva Goswami addressed Hiranyakashipu as Sri. That shows that devotee pay respect to everyone, even to the demons. Advanced devotees like Sukadeva Goswami. And he came, Yamaraj came, in the form of a small boy. Does anyone know why he came in the form of a boy and not in the form of a yogi or big saint or something else? Why would he come in the form of a boy? Any ideas? Yeah. Yes, this is one of the reasons. Yeah. Because everyone wants to listen to a small boy. And it's so charming when the kids speak. They are so charming, and everyone listen. If an adult comes and to start to talk philosophy, we may not like the energy of the person, or we may not agree with the person. But when the kid talk, even he talk nonsense, everyone is paying attention. It's very attractive. That's why Yamaraj came in the form of a boy. Sorry. And he started to instruct his relatives of Suyagya, and he's explaining the ABC of Krishna consciousness, the ABC of Bhagavad Gita. The first lesson we learn when we come to Krishna consciousness is that we are not this body. And this is explained throughout, especially chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, especially when Krishna starts in chapter 2:13, the Hinos Minyata Dehe, everybody knows that verse, that the body changes all the time. When you are a baby, and then child, and then adult, and then old age, and then we take another body. But throughout this process, there is a common denominating point, is that we are very attached to the body. We become more and more attached. When you are a child and somebody, there is no much false ego there. There is no very strong identification. You see, when the kids, they lose, after when they are 5, 6, they lose all their teeth. And it will be very embarrassing if that will happen when we are an adult and everyone is laughing about that, as we don't have any teeth. But the kids, they don't care. They don't care. And you can say anything to the kid. They don't easily get offended. But when you grow up, you start to get more and more identified with the body, and then the makeup and all these things start to take place, because we want to be as beautiful, as strong as possible, as attractive as possible. But kids, they don't normally care about these things so much until certain age, obviously. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna started to make it very clear the difference between the body and the soul. And this starts also in the text 16, Nasato vidyate babo na babo vidyaste sata. That from the non-existent there is no endurance, and from the existent, real existent, there is always permanent. And then Abhinasi tu tad vidhi, how does it go? Abhinasi tu tad vidhi, yena sarvan idam tatam. That Krishna said that nobody can destroy the soul. The soul is indestructible. And then Antamanta imedeha nitya shokta sharirina. That the same thing, that the soul is eternal. Soul is eternal. The body perishes in due course of time, but the soul is eternal. And then which is my favorite verse on chapter 2. Nachayate briyate bakadachin nayam budpa babita pa nabuya. Nachayate ahap nityan sapatoyam purano nathanyate hanyamane sharire. That for the soul there is no birth, there is no death, is indestructible, is primeval. All these qualities are only related to the soul and not to the body. The body is doomed to die one day or another, but the soul is always there. And as the attachment to this body grows, the fear of death also grows. Everyone is afraid of death. And everyone is afraid that the dear ones will die as well. One time Prabhupada was given a talk, and one person said, I'm not afraid of death. And Prabhupada said, you're not afraid of death because you're a madman. Only a madman is not afraid of death. And this fear is to the unknown, because we know as soon as we die, there is no guarantee where we will go. There is no secure destination. And Prabhupada said in the purport that we could take a body of the demigod, we can take a body of the dog. There is no guarantee we can go anywhere. We can take any type of body. And this fear is always there. The fear of the unknown. What will be there in the end of the tunnel? What is waiting for us? And this is explained by many acharyas about the relativity of this body and the necessity for find our real identity. I remember when I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books, there was something that Prabhupada said that really struck me. I know many devotees I've seen like a Prabhupada memories. They say, "Oh, when Prabhupada said that we are not this body, he really woke my consciousness," or so many things happen. But there is something else that Prabhupada said that really struck me, and that is that the body is the disease of the soul. And for me, this is so shocking to know this fact that the body is the disease of the soul. When the soul is sick, when the soul doesn't know the reality, then body comes. And this is a product of the mode of ignorance. Because if you know who you are, you will never take a material body. But because we are in ignorance, we take material bodies life after life. And this is explained by also different acharyas like Govinda Das Kaviraj. There is this beautiful song that devotees sing often. Bajahure mana chinanda nandana avaya charanaran bindore dulava manava chanavata sange karoho he baba sindure. You say, having obtaining this rare human form of life, why you don't serve Nanda Nandana? This human form is very rare. Anyone can take a body of the dog, of an insect, of a tree. But to have a human body is very rare. And then he says, Sita tapabata barijana edina jamini chagire. Vifalise vinu kripana durjana chapala sukalaba lagire. He said that for a fraction of happiness, chapala sukha, we have served so many bad masters. We have served so many bad masters, so many cruel people. Like when you have a job and the boss doesn't care about you, he only cares that you do your thing. And what do we do that for? Just for a fraction of happiness in the form of a wage or whatever happiness we're supposed to give us. Like he said, Edana Jauvana, Putra Parichana, Edina Chamini Chagire. Bifali se vinu kripana turchana, emina kamala talachala, chivana talamala. He said, what is the guarantee of happiness in this youth riches? There is no guarantee of happiness. It doesn't mean that because you are beautiful, you are going to be happy. It doesn't mean that because you are rich, you are going to be happy. But Govinda Das is not taking any of this. He said, Shravanam Kirtanash Maranabandhanam Pada Sevana Das Yare. Govinda Das only want to chant the glories of Krishna. He want to be engaged in devotional service of Krishna because he knows none of these things will give him happiness. So this is the mentality of the devotee. He knows the reality. He knows what is behind scenes. Like if you see a drama, you see who is playing who, you know them, you know the actors, but you don't believe them because he's my friend, I know him, he's from my village, and I know that one. I know everyone, and I know what they are playing, and know what message they want to give. So for the devotee, even though we see how much Maya is interacted, we don't believe it. We know there is no happiness there. I remember I used to live in central London for 6 months, very close to Soho Temple. When just moved to UK, I moved to this place, this flat near Soho Temple. And I will go to Mangalarti every day, and I will see always the same scene. Outside the bars, there were these girls wearing mini skirts, freezing, shaking, and there were these guys drinking, trying to talk to the girls, and everyone is suffering. And I was looking at this, I say, where is the happiness there? I don't see any happiness. If I really, really want to gratify my senses, I will go home, put the heater on, and eat a pizza, and maybe watch a movie if I really want to enjoy my senses. But there is no happiness there. But this is the reality of the material world. People think that suffering is happiness. And it's crazy. That's what Prabhupada said. Everyone in the material world is crazy because we are just acting like madmen, going around trying to find something that doesn't exist. Happiness in the material world doesn't exist. This is called Maya or illusion. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages, Krishna is telling us what is reality and how to differentiate. They said that we should know the nature of both. We should know the nature of illusion, and we should know the nature of the spiritual world. We should know what is the difference. The process of Krishna consciousness is not negating the material aspect. Like in some other religions, like monks, we see some Christian monks, they totally reject material aspect. But that creates an imbalance because the spiritual life is all about the balance. This is like a key word of success in spiritual life, balance. So there should be a balance. There should be an understanding. Okay, this is material, but I need to use it in the service of Krishna. This is spiritual, and I should fully dedicate to it. And when we know the difference, and then we know what is what and what we should do to understand this. And when we start to be less interested in our own material things and be more interested in helping others in the spiritual life, this is when we start to realize more and more, and we start to have more and more understanding and knowledge. And there is a very nice story mentioned in the Mahabharata. Very nice pastime. One time, sorry, my throat is not so good today. Sorry about that. One time, Krishna was walking with Arjuna, and then they saw a Brahmin beggar on the street. And Arjuna, being very compassionate, he gave him a bag of gold coins. Do you know the story? Does anyone know the story? No? And the Brahmin was very happy, but to go home, he needed to cross to the forest. So when he was crossing the forest, somebody stole his bag of coins. So he was very morose, but the next day he had to go again to beg because there was no money left. So Arjuna saw him again. He said, "What happened? Yesterday I gave him gold coin. Why he's begging again?" And Krishna said, "Yeah, somebody stole his coins." So Arjuna gave this beggar a big diamond. And then the person was overjoyed. He went home. He didn't want to show to his wife just in case she will spend all the money. So he hid the diamond in an old pot that nobody was using. So he hid the diamond there. But next morning, very early, while he was still sleeping, his wife went to the river to fetch some water. And the pot she was carrying broke. So she needed to carry another pot, and she didn't have another pot. She took the old pot with the diamond in it. So when she was collecting the water, the diamond went into the river. So next day, the poor Brahmin, he woke up and he started searching for this diamond. He could not find. And then he told his wife explained what happened. So again, he said, "Okay, I need to go to work again." So he went again to beg. And then Arjuna said, "But I gave him a diamond yesterday. Why he's again begging?" And then Krishna, knowing everything, he told him what happened. And Arjuna said, maybe it's just his destiny. He's not destined to be rich. He's destined to be poor. Maybe just that his karma. And Krishna said, don't worry, I have a solution for this. So Krishna gave this person 2 paishas, 2 coins. They were not worth much. Jai Shri Kodamita Maya Pusa Ki Jai, Shri Krishnath Maharaj Ki Jai, Giridhari Lal Ki Jai, Nishinkari Bhagavan Ki Jai. And Arjuna said to Krishna, but I gave him gold coins, I gave him diamonds. How are you going to solve his problem with 2 paishas, with 2 coins? Nothing will solve. And Krishna said, you will see, you will see. So the beggar had these 2 coins and he was going home. But on the way home, he saw a fisherman. And he saw a fish there on the table that was really struggling, was still alive and was really struggling to breathe. So he felt compassion for this fish. So he bought that fish. He said, okay, at least I saved someone with these 2 paishas. So he bought the fish and he was about to release the fish back into the water. But he noted that something was suffocating the fish. And he opened the mouth and he saw his diamond that fish had swallowed by mistake, I presume. So he was overjoyed. He started shouting, I found it, I found it. He started shouting. And then the thief that stole his money in the forest, he saw that, oh, he found me. And he thought that he found the thief. And he was shouting for other people to catch him. And then he got very fearful. He said, oh, and also I stole the money from a Brahmana. So he returned the gold coins to this Brahmin. And then he went home. He was a rich man now. He didn't have to beg anymore. Seeing all this, Arjuna asked Krishna, how come that this person now, all the coins and all the diamond could not change his life, and 2 paishas saved his life? And Krishna said the difference is when he had the coins and he had the diamond, he was only thinking about himself, about his only sense enjoyment. But when he got the parshas and he was trying to save the fish, and then he was doing my job, because my job is to take care of everyone, and my job is to help everyone. So this is a very nice story that shows us that when we are only concerned about ourselves, then we become spiritually poor. But when we care about others and we try to help other people in the spiritual life, and then we become rich, we may be still materially poor, but we become rich spiritually. So this is a mission of every devotee. Try to help others in the spiritual life, and this is what Yamaraj is doing. He could say, "Okay, I don't care. They are suffering for because they are ignorant, because Suyagya died. I don't care. This is their problem. They are suffering. They should get over it, you know." But that's not the mentality of a devotee. He always tried to help. So Yamaraj assumed this form of the boy and he instructed them. And he tried to enlighten them, and he tried to bring them to the right consciousness. And we will see that after this they understood, even Prabhupada explained, that they understood, oh yes, this body is temporary, I should not be so attached, and I should not unnecessarily grieve for the loss of this material body. Because after this, there will be another body and another body. So in any case, we should not grieve. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, if you see, Arjuna, that if you think that this body is the self, then there is no problem, because they will get another body. These kings, these kshatriyas you are killing, they will get another body. So even if you think that the body is the summum bonum of everything, that's fine, because you will get another body. That's okay. That's okay. But if you think that the soul is the real thing, and then it's also no problem, because they will go to heaven. They will get a better birth. So in either case, there is no cause for lamentation. So this is how we should see things in a real perspective. That either way, even if we are this body, no problem, we'll take another body. But even for devotees, even though intellectually we understand that we are not this body, it's very difficult to act in a soul consciousness. As soon as somebody tells us that we got a big nose, we got offended, even though we understand that we are not this body. Because this is one thing is to understand it intellectually, another thing is to act in this platform of the soul without any false ego, without any false identification. But this is the process by practicing the 9 processes, like Govinda Kaviraj said, 9 processes of devotional service, especially chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna. We can get rid of all these coverings that they are covering the soul, and they are making to believe that they are related to the body, the mind, or the false ego. Sarvopadi vinibhuktan tat paratvena nirmalam. Rishikena rishikesha sevaram bhakti ruchate. When we start to get rid of these upadis, these false coverings, we start to understand that actually Krishna is the supreme controller, Krishna is everything, and we just need to serve him in whichever body. So this is the process we need to follow to, I don't know say Spanish word. This is the process we should follow to get this consciousness uh, that is mentioned in these verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Is there any question, comments? Alexa, suppose? Sorry. Yeah, yeah, like I mentioned one time, I think I mentioned in the class. One, yeah, it's very difficult to take feedbacks. I remember we had this Prabhu in the temple where I joined, and one day he was like in this mood, I'm very fallen, and I'm such a rascal, and this and that. He was in that mood. And another Prabhu, one senior Prabhu came, and he said, "Yeah, yeah, that's right. You are right." I see, what do you mean? One thing is I'm saying that I'm a rascal. Another thing that you confirm it. Yeah, it's very difficult. False ego is very strong. False ego is very strong. Uh, I like when I go to India, see that people are more humble there. They're more humble. They push each other. They crawl on each other. Nobody is offended. They're like, but here, as soon as somebody touch you, you immediately feel offended. You feel like. Uh, so I like to see that. I like when you go places like this where people are not so. And if you scold them, they will normally take it nicely. I remember I never preached in my life more when I went to Nepal, because I see, they said they come to you and they say, yes, I'm a Brahmana, and they eat meat. And I was telling them, how can you be Brahmana? You are eating meat. How can you say that you are a Brahmana? You are not a Brahmana. And they took it so nicely, and they listen. Maybe because you are Westerners, and they, okay, is something different. But and all the time I have this experience. They say, yeah, I'm a Brahmana, but I eat meat, I drink. You say, "Oh, what kind of Brahmana is this?" And you can preach to them, and they will listen. They will not feel offended. But to do that in the Western countries is more difficult, because we got a stronger ego. We feel that we are special. But the devotees, we should try to cultivate this, and we should try to, when you get the feedback, we should try to accept it, and at least not feel offended, not take it personally. Uh, it's a process. Yeah, we should forgive others. Prabhupada said that we should forgive small offenses of other people. We should forgive small offenses, because when you live, especially if you live in a community, there will be these small offenses going back and forth. There will be misunderstanding. There will be this kind of uh, things going on. but we should not take it so seriously. Uh, Also, the example is giving like husband and wife. Uh, they can be a storm, but the next moment there is nothing there. And also, Prabhupada mentioned one time that even Mahatma Gandhi, he had this heavy fight with his wife. So much so that his wife will, I think, or he will go to stay in another house for a few days because they were fighting so much. Even though, Mahatma Gandhi was the like emblem of peacefulness and not non-violence, but because of the ego is there, these misunderstandings are there in every level. But we should try to tolerate and accept. This acceptance is very important, and this is also the way of learning. Like if a senior devotee tell us something, is for our benefit generally, and we should try to learn rather than retaliate or think that, oh, why he's telling me something, I know better than him. This false ego is there in every Trinada piece nichana tarora piece aishana. It's very difficult. Be more humble than the grass and more tolerant than the tree. That's the goal. That's the goal, and we should be aiming that. And I remember what Maharaj was saying. Because we repeat this verse every day, we should not think that they are not going to be. We are not going to be tested because we repeat. But it's not just a verbalization of this. We need to put in practice, and Krishna will put us uh, test to become more humble than the grass and more tolerant than the tree. This test will be there, so we can actually develop these qualities and not just saying it for the sake of saying it. It should be a practical experience. So please bless me. Like one day I can become humble and tolerant. One day. Pushing other people forward to do the service, or pushing other people forward to take the credit. Because can be like this, like Krishna couldn't kill everyone, but he put Arjuna forward to take the credit for it. But could be that we put other people forward to do the service, so we can have a rest. We can lie down on the couch, and then we take a credit for it. As much as possible, we should try to engage, especially new people. Especially new people, we should try to engage them in service. Even though we can do that ourselves, this service ourselves, but we see that this is the only chance for this person to make advancement. Like volunteers is a perfect example. Volunteers that come to Karuna Bhavan, because they are here for a short time, so it's good for them to do as much service as possible. Even though we can do maybe some of the service they are doing, but it's good to engage them because this is maybe the only chance. After they go from here, who knows? Maybe they will never be in contact with devotees again. So we should try to engage them and make them to participate as much as possible in the program. I don't know if that's what's the aim of here. Yeah. finish here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanandi Hari